pillow of your fantasies. This the 20th century. Be still. Though you waited so long.
Hey friends, welcome back. Second Eric here. I'm shooting this video at night, so I do apologize for the funky lighting going on and the fact I look kind of disheveled, maybe, perhaps. Well, not disheveled, but just my hair is just doing something today because, well, I've been outside most of the day and just been enjoying a lot of outdoor activity, and you know, it gets pretty hot out there these days. This is the end result, so I'm not going to keep you too long tonight, I don't think. I'm shooting this on Saturday evening. Don't have anything going on, so I'm going to keep this relatively short if possible. I got 5 LPs here, and these are all that I picked up in Lawrence, Kansas. And then the rest here are from Kansas City. Probably about 10 LPs, probably. And yeah, so far I've only absorbed, you know, all of this and then probably a quarter of that up there. So let's dig in and talk about these. So start off with this one. I think I posted all of these on Instagram already, and I'm gonna start off with this banger. So I've been needing this one for a long time. Me being a devoted Electric Prunes fan, picked up Stockholm 67. This is a live record from 67, obviously from Sweden. And you know, I'm not much for live albums typically. I mean, there are some great ones, but I only keep like a few of them, the ones that really mean a lot to me. And this is one of those cases, man, that if you want to hear the Prunes at their heaviest, like their hardest edge rock material, this is just a banger. You know, when I first discovered this years back, I mean, it blew my mind, and then I hadn't listened to it in a long time up until now, you know, and just blew my mind again just how great this is. So I don't know the whole, I forget the backstory a little bit. I mean, I can't tell if James Lowe is being sarcastic when he says someone might have accidentally hit the record button. You know, I feel like someone had to be in charge of the mixing or engineering this, perhaps, but I think it was deliberate, you know. Musically, this is just super crisp production. I mean, you can hear the reverb and the echo in the room amidst performing. It's crazy. Like, it's just really well engineered. The mic placement is right on point. You can hear everybody playing. I guess if I had any disappointment on here, it's just their biggest hit, I Had Too Much to Dream Last Night. It's okay, but I feel like the rest of the material here just knocks that one out of the park. I mean, you'd think their hit, they would be a little more, you know, a little stronger on that one, but it's just decent. I don't know, that's just my opinion. But Ken Williams, the lead guitarist on here, just one of the super most underrated players in my book. Just never gets talked about in the same light as, like, you know, other people of the psychedelic era, I don't think. You know, that fuzz tremolo is so distinctive. You know, it's the Prunes, you know, with that box pedal and just that kind of stingray sort of fuzz tone. It's just awesome. And he's on point here the whole way through. They do like a couple blues covers on here. I got my mojo working, Smokestack Lightning, but they're not even really bluesy. They're just straight up acid rock, man. They are really jamming on those tracks. A lot of extended jamming on here. Trying Me On for Size might be my favorite on this one. But of course they do Long Day's Flight Till Tomorrow. Great closer on Underground. I Happen to Love You is the other one from Underground record. You Never Had It Better, their non-LP single they open up with. And you know, they kind of have a long time to warm up, or they're not even really warming up. They're just kind of making these buzzing noises and, you know, hearing the voice echo in the room. It's almost like a 3-minute warm-up. It feels longer than that, though. But yeah, The electric prunes, man, they are just top tier US psych for me. I mean, started out with their garage roots and then just slowly melded into the scene. And yeah, I highly recommend this. Even if you're not into live records, this is still really a great artifact from a one and only one of a kind band. So check her out. I think it originally came out in like '97 on CD. I think there's a couple variations of that on vinyl, but I wish it was released back in the day. It would have been kind of a stellar release. But this one I've been meaning to pick up for a while. Just kind of, I don't know, wasn't in any hurry to pick it up, but Bob Trimble's sophomore LP. This is Harvest of Dreams. Got some 80s stuff here. This came out in '82. This is kind of a well-acclaimed Acid Archive entry. His first two LPs are, anyway. I have his first LP, but to me, the more I listen to this one, I think this is probably my, maybe my go-to. It's just a continuation of that first album, but I'd say the production here, they just get a little more crazy with, the engineering, and a lot of the mixing is very all over the place on here. Some things are up front, and some are a little more in the background, kind of foggy, as I put it. And it's just really ethereal, kind of dreamy. Got a lot of original songwriting on here, unlike anything else at this time. Kind of progressive, it's a progressive style of writing. And such a distinctive feminine vocal styling from Bob. It's very distinctful when you hear it. It's got a lot of woozy, watery guitar effects going on, some synths. And this also features his other band he was with called The Kids. Features like half tracks from the quote-unquote Kids, which were literally kids that he played with. That came out wrong, but you know what I'm saying. No, these were like literally kids that were like 10, 12 years old probably. And they kind of do a little bit of like a punk thing on here. There's kind of this underlying post-punkness about it that can kind of interest some people listening to this, and psychedelic at the same time. Very much just an awesome self-release from a true visionary from Massachusetts, man. Really good. And this is on Secretly Canadian. Did a very good job reissuing this. And this reissue is super cheap. I mean, I should have picked up on it long ago, but like I said, just wasn't in a huge hurry to pick it up. But yeah, I got this for like $10. So I forgot to mention, these first four I picked up from Love Garden Sounds, by the way, and this was like $10, still sealed. I'd say if I had to point out a favorite track, Armor of the Shroud. It's probably one of my favorites on here. But the opener too, Premonitions, The Fantasy, Take Me Home Vienna is also a big highlight. But like I said, man, this is just one of a kind, and just what a cover art too. It's like they stuck this horn on this goat at this petting zoo or something at a circus. I don't know what's going on. It's kind of takes its own cult status just looking at that cover. This next one, this is the first one that stood out to me in the shop. I've been looking for this one. I paid up a little more than I wanted to. I've been trying to find it for $10, $15 if I could, but it's kind of staying around that $20, $25 mark. So I paid about that much. This is Paige Claire. It's a pretty obscure one. Probably the only person that's shown this online. It's on MGM. This was kind of new to some heads out there too when I shared it. Yeah, MGM, this came out in '71. Washington State-based artist. The only info I could find on her was through an obituary. She passed away, I think, 2006. She was really young. It didn't say what the cause was, but it sounded like it was something tragic, unfortunately. But yeah, she was discovered through, television commercials and jingles that she had made locally, I guess, and some executives heard her voice and signed her right up. I mean, what a privilege at the time, right? It's just kind of amazing you get discovered so easily and can make things happen like this. But one and only release, never made any singles back in the day. And there should have been a single from this. You know, there's definitely some single-worthy moments on here. And this is definitely not for everybody. I should point out too. I mean, this is very much vocal pop. The first two tracks are the weakest, I would say. Kind of reminds me of Karen Beth's LP. You know, it always starts with like that first orchestrated, upbeat, commercial-friendly, AM radio-friendly pop. So those first two tracks kind of suck, in my opinion. But after that, if you love that dreamy vocal pop, you know, sort of in the vein of maybe Sandpipers or, you know, what's that other group I'm thinking of? The Arbors, maybe in that realm. You might enjoy this, and I really like this. It's definitely got some, you know, some of those psychedelic flourishes in there, kind of with that, you know, Kurt Betcher sort of production, session musicians backing her up with this kind of funky rhythm section. The rhythm section's really what stands out on this, the bass and percussionist. Some upbeat tracks, but also some very mellow tracks, kind of reminiscent of maybe Michelle's Saturn Rings. If you guys know that record on ABC, it's kind of in that realm, but you know, maybe second tier even of that one. But it's definitely polished. It's definitely really good though for what it is. So much that I wanted to pick it up. So I just yeah, tracks like Windmills of Your Mind, which I do believe is a cover song, but very good. Come Back and Shake Me, Paint My World Blue, the closing track on here. The full album is on YouTube, so definitely worth sampling if you'd like. So it's a pretty elusive title, but like I said, it's not for everybody. This is really one of the more different ones I picked up. Vocal pop, but very good for its style. Getting kind of pricey though, it seems. And it seems like it's pretty popular in Japan when I look the hashtag up on Instagram for some reason. So this one I took a blind chance on. I may have seen the cover online before. Didn't really recognize it, but I took this one over to the listening station. I was like, okay, I'm kind of digging this. This is Maldoon. This is their sophomore LP. So it's got a fuzzy backstory here. So the first album featured some prog rock names. The fella from Mighty Baby, the other guy from the band Family, and who else? The fella from Yes, Steve Howe. I think all three of those members were in their first record contributing, but I don't think any of them are present on this one. But they simply changed their name to Maldoon on this one, but it was originally known as Curtis Maldoon. This came out in '73. This is the US release. It was a UK group, and this is a promo on Warner, as you can see. It was $6, but I still wanted to, you know, kind of check it out at the listening station. Just check out side one, see what it sounded like, and another little dusty. There we go. What was I saying? Yeah, there was definitely some tracks that I was like, ooh, that's kind of nice. Wasn't expecting that, you know. And this is really nice. I probably even like this maybe even more than Paige Claire. This was, so it's basically a folk pop rock thing. Pretty much very stripped back, kind of low key. Very indistinctful, you know, major label kind of thing. And it's certainly one that no one's going out reaching for. You know, it's not something everybody's going to get all hyped up about, but this does have some nice hidden gems on here. Pretty soft for the most part on side one, but once you get to the track Clouds in My Hair, kind of reminds me of McCartney's first album. It's got that kind of McCartney vibe. Then the track Sit and Talk About It, it's probably my favorite off here. It's got this kind of, you know, minimal tribal drum thing going on, nice vocal harmonies. One Way Ticket, I believe, is the single off of here. It's pretty good as well. There's some great tracks on here for, you know, if you see it for $5, this is worth your listen. Is it going to stick around? Not sure, but it was nice finding this out for sure. There's definitely some tracks I may use on future trip video. We shall see. Okay, this last one here, so those were the 4 from Love Garden Sounds. Then I hopped over on the same block. I'm pretty sure it's the same block. They have an antique mall there. It's pretty huge inside there, and lots of records, but of course, you really have to scrounge in those antique malls. And this is one I definitely wanted, and this is one that gets talked about a little bit in certain circles, and this is Two Friends. This is on the Natural Resources label. Same label that gave us Road with Noel Redding. Pretty simplistic looking, right? Doesn't really tell you a whole lot, but my first impression was, probably like a Brewer and Shipley kind of thing, and it's definitely in that realm. Very much a folk rock duo. A little bit of that rural rock transitioning into that commercial-friendly soft rock kind of vein, but they're not quite there yet, I would say. So it's a little bit, post-hippie folk rock with some good harmonies. It's kind of reminiscent of like Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young in that realm. And this is actually produced by Tom Wilson, the esteemed Tom Wilson. And I'm not really sure if maybe the name of the album is called Save Our Open Spaces. I could see someone maybe saying that's the title of the record, because I have a poster that came with this. I'll share it here in a photo or video right now, and I posted it up on my wall already, so you could tell it's got the title and the name on there, and they're just chilling out in Death Valley. So yeah, this came out in like 72, I think, and this is dollar bin all day, man. You can find this for probably $10 on average, but this has got some great tracks as well. You got Must Be the Wrath. The second track's really good. It's probably my favorite off of here. And then I think side 2 had a couple nice highlights. Old South Bend, Now That It's Over, and Jerry. Yeah, side 2 picks up quite a bit. So it's nothing mind-melting, not even close, but this is just nice, kind of rustic, laid-back, folk rock, country rock kind of stuff. And it's kind of cool that they have, their own picture on the label itself. It was kind of interesting to me that, Natural Resources has the same font as Save Our Open Spaces. So it makes me wonder, is this like the first record that kicked off the label? I don't know. Because Natural Resources, Save Our Open Spaces kind of go hand in hand, right? It's like they're trying to spread the message a little bit. Perhaps, I don't know. Because it was kind of a small-lived label, Natural Resources, but yeah, definitely check it out. Definitely some cheapies in here. Yeah, so that about wraps it up. I don't know what video I'm going to make next. I think maybe a trip video. I've ripped some songs on my turntable this afternoon, so hopefully we'll have that coming up in the future, and hopefully my phone will cooperate. We shall see. Anyways, take care, guys. Hope you're all doing well. Catch you down the road.